Hey, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network. And we are going to kick things off, boys basketball, with Coach Jim McDaniel joining us. Nice brisk morning, Coach.
Cold morning. Yep.
But it's January.
Yes. Yeah. And we're getting almost through January. So.
I know. We were just talking about that. It's like, golly, it's already the 23rd of January and getting ready to, and you guys are just getting started in Region 1 games.
Yeah. Yeah. January is almost over, but for our JV, they really are getting started because we had quite a kind of a strange schedule to start the year as far as a JV schedule.
Well, let's step back up at Devil's Lake last week. Originally, you were to play Stanley. Weather kind of took its toll. Some teams didn't get there, and the schedule got moved around a little bit. You ended up playing Fort Winds Minnewacan on Friday night. Very good basketball team with Fort Winds.
Yes, and we were getting the kind of schedule change as we were driving, and Coach Jeff Ralph at Wahpeton, good, I've known him for years through coaching golf and all, and coaching basketball and stuff. So I shot a text to him because they had already played. Well, they were 2-19 from the three when Wahpeton and Four Winds played. They had to have 19 threes in the first half. I mean, they were on fire. So we didn't play our best game. And hearing some of the talk after the game and the next day, everybody was like, okay, that's the Four Winds we're used to. They probably had their best game, and we probably had our worst. And they shot well, but it was a good test for us, the way their defense is and where they just kept coming in waves and everything. And so hopefully we learned a few things about ourselves on that game.
And then you bounced back on Saturday. You had rugby and Mike and Matson. Boy, he was hitting the threes.
Yeah, he shot the ball well. I thought all around we played much. We played much better that game. And it was, we start at 12:30, which is not a normal time to play. And then, you're in a hotel room and everything. And I thought we played. I thought we played very, very well that game. And kind of all around, and kind of where we were in control, kind of that whole game. So it was good to see the guys bounce back after one that we didn't feel real good about the day before.
That's the nice thing of those back-to-back nights. Okay, let's forget about last night.
Yeah,
and let's focus on today.
Well, and we have, our schedule just got real busy, starting on that Friday night and Saturday. Then, we had Sunday off, and then Monday we turn around and go to Oak Grove. And so we had to take what we could from that loss. And I mean, let's not get into this situation again. Kind of learn that stuff, and then here we are again. Let's forget about that. Let's get a win on this one. So
yeah, and the Oak Grove game, to me, when I was watching that game, it looked like this could be the Highliner team that we'd like to see. 4 guys in double figures, and 75-68, I think, was the final. All around, everybody really contributed and played well that game.
I mean, it was that's what we're looking for every game is probably having 4 guys in double figures, and then the other 2 guys probably combining for double figures, which we kind of had everything going. I thought we played well. We kind of trailed that entire game, and so we just never let it get out of, we never let it get to us. We just kept doing what we're doing, and things kind of started going our way second half. I thought we played well. I thought Oak Grove played well. I think that's what every game, I think that's what every game will be like in Region 1. You got Kindred, who is, everybody talks about Kindred in Region 1, and, they are the team to beat, and they're the favorite and everything. But once you get those guys out of there, every other game you better show up to play, because it's gonna come right down to the end. So you better be doing some things right, and you better be playing good ball, or you're gonna get beat by anybody.
And it was fairly up tempo. It was 42-40 at halftime.
Yeah. And
it was really up tempo and back and forth, and then looked like the defense has settled in a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, and I thought it was a really good win. Where we trailed the entire game. It was tight the entire game.
Yeah.
We'd get ahead, and then they'd be, and it seemed like we'd do something, and we'd get it right there, and then, we'd make a mistake, but yet we wouldn't let it turn into a whole bunch of mistakes. And before you know it, now we're trying to kind of seal the deal at the end, and I thought the guys did a great job of controlling the ball in those final minutes when we had a little lead. We made some free throws, and big win, good win for us.
And to get it on the road, because when you get those Region 1 wins on the road, that's nice, because okay, now we get them at home the next time. But those road games, you really want to go, what do they say, 500 on the road, maybe a little bit better. But getting that first one on the road has to be a little bit better, or a little bit more special than just getting the win.
Yeah, well, and then this weekend now, we have some non-region games, but then we have Wahpeton, and that's going to be a tough one, I think, and Lisbon, Northern. It doesn't matter, so to me, if we lose that one, just mentally, it puts more pressure on. Gee, we got to win the next one. I think it kind of shows that we're going to win these games. Let's just, now when Wahpeton comes and we get them, they're kind of picked the favorite as far as second.
Right.
But I don't know how you pick other than Kindred, I don't know how you pick the next one until we get some games under our belts, because anybody can beat anybody on a given night. And so it was a good, big win for us to get that first one.
Beulah and Killdeer coming to town now here Friday. Killdeer on Friday, Beulah on Saturday. We saw Killdeer here during our shootout. They're a very good basketball team. Played Kindred, very tough. What do you expect here with the Cowboys?
Yeah, Killdeer is they're good. They got basically the same team they had last year. They'll be gunning for us. We got them last year when we went to Killdeer in the season, and then we got them in the state tournament. I really like that team. I don't know if anybody works harder than that. They come out to play ball, and so we're going to have to show up. I think Killdeer, that game against Kindred. They had Kindred on the ropes. I mean, Kindred had to work to get that win. I think Kindred's got, more talented players and everything like that. But, Killdeer's going to outwork. They're going to try to outwork you, and they do a nice job defensively because they got the whole team playing that team defense. They're trapping at times, and so we're going to have to do a lot of things right to keep with Killdeer, because they got a real good team this year.
Ball control is going to be big time. Is taking care of the basketball is going to be a big thing in the win, or to get a win.
Yes, and you got to keep it. We can't. It would be nice for us to get a big lead, but if you got a big lead, they're not going to go away just because of how they how they operate. They work hard from the beginning all the way to the end. It doesn't matter the score. So they're not going to go away if you get a big win. And the other thing is, if they get a big lead, it'll be hard. It'd be hard because they control the ball too. They're not just going to come down and give us a whole bunch of possessions. So we got to keep it close. And then you hope that the final minutes, which that's good practice for us, because I think every region game is going to be tight. Right. So we got to keep the games close when we're playing those good teams. Which when we played Oak Grove, that's what we did. It was close the entire game. At the end, we finally got the lead. We did the things right to control the game in those final minutes. I'm expecting that we're going to have to do the same this weekend now.
And free throws, look, you're starting to hit the free throws. At least you did against Oak Grove.
Yeah, well, we did a little conditioning thing last night, and the guys weren't making them, so then they'll say we didn't make enough last night.
Well, good, save it for the game.
Yeah, I hope so. So, yeah, we've shot a little bit better from the line, and our percentage from the field and everything. We've been shooting the ball pretty well, so if we can. I didn't like Oak Grove getting 42.
Right.
If we can keep that number got a little high on our defensive side. So.
Right. All right, but got the W now, 6-2 on the year as we head with Killdeer here coming in on Friday night. JV game?
JV varsity, we're doing that all the way through, which,
perfect.
We got to stay healthy. We got a little bang. We got 14 guys to play 2 games.
Right.
You got to have everybody because both JV and varsity, when guys are, you got 14 guys playing 2 full games. Everybody's going to get in. So
that's why we play them. Now
Yep.
it's Killdeer 5:30 for the junior varsity, roughly?
Yep, 5:30 and 7, and then Beulah, I believe it's 2:30 and 4.
Yeah,
I
2:30
think in Beulah. So.
Okay, sounds good. And that's here in a doubleheader here at home this weekend. So lots of basketball here at the Hack, starting tonight with the girls and then the boys all the way through.
Yep, and then Monday I think there's home wrestling, and then Tuesday we have doubleheader with WAP.
Yep.
So and I think the JV will be over at the bubble for boys on that one. So a lot of stuff going on here in the next few days. Yep.
It's the best time of the year.
That's winter.
Perfect. Great. Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Coach Jim McDaniel joining us on the Highlander Boys Basketball. Back with more Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highlander Activity Network. Well, just getting caught up on what's going on with Highlander activities. We'll start with girls basketball. Of course, last week the Highlanders defeated Lisbon here at the Hack, 60-22, the final score there. And they are now 10-2 on the year, 5-1 in Region 1 games as they've completed the first half of the region play. There's 12 games in region play. They're halfway through, and they will get the second half going here. Now tonight, the Highliners will be in action here at home tonight, and the girls, again, is 5:30 with the pregame as Oak Grove coming in, starting that second half, 5:30 for the JV, and the varsity around 7:15. And as we mentioned, we've got boys basketball coming up Friday and Saturday. The wrestlers, the girls, they had the Store Hog last week, and again, another couple of championships. Deacon Kirschman and Miley Christensen winning championships at their respective weight classes at the 130 and at 142 at the Store Hog. And the girls had a really, really good tournament, 102 points, finished 6th out of 16 at the Store Hog last week in Lisbon. The boys will be in Lisbon this weekend. They've got West Fargo duel coming up tonight, and then they'll be at the Store Hog here this weekend for the boys' side. in wrestling. And also a little hockey, Jamestown hockey. They're actually having a pretty good season as well. The boys, they are now 9-4, and here the other night they came up with a big win over Dickinson. Parker Rolfsma of Valley City had a couple of goals. He's the second leading scorer for Jamestown on Jamestown hockey. And the girls, they are dropped to 2-10. They lost last week, a tough loss last week for Jamestown girls. Of course, we have 3 Highliners on the girls team with Addie and Laney Bacalar and Addie Gerhardt, the 3 Highliners that play hockey over for Jamestown. Other non-sports activities that are going on. The dance team, congratulations to the Highlights. They were in Minot for their state competition here last week. A very good weekend. They took second in hip-hop, took fourth in jazz and high kick. Ader Gilbertson, the senior, winning a scholarship award at the state competition. Coach Megan Gilbertson was honored for 15 years. She has been the head dance coach for the Highlights, and so that was a great weekend for them. Now, coming up in March, they've got the national competition. It'll be going on down in Florida, so they're going to be heading out here. I believe it's usually the first week in March, and they'll be heading down to Orlando, Florida, and the national dance competition. And also, Poetry Out Loud was here in Valley City on Tuesday, and Leah Holcoulter was the school champ, and Ada Gilbertson, the aforementioned Ada Gilbertson, was runner-up, and now Leah will be competing in the county Poetry Out Loud. That'll be, I believe here it's going to be she's at the state in Bismarck, and that'll be coming up here in March, end of March, and competing at the next level of Poetry Out Loud. So congratulations here to Leah Holcoulter and having that honor, taking first at Poetry Out Loud. So things are just getting started. We're really getting into that time of year that we are going to be busy, busy, busy. Next week, wrestling on Monday, basketball on Tuesday and Thursday, and so a lot of activities coming up next week for the Highliners. And don't forget, we've got girls basketball here tonight against Oak Grove, 5:30 and 7. This weekend, the boys will have Killdeer on Friday and Beulah on Saturday afternoon. Tomorrow night, it'll be 5:30 and 7 o'clock for the boys against Killdeer, and that should be a great matchup with the third-ranked Cowboys. And then Beulah, who's receiving votes, ranked number 7 in the state in Class A. They'll be here on Saturday, 2:30 and 4 o'clock. Also, a big shout-out to the robotics team. Last weekend, they hosted the Frozen Classic, the VEX Frozen Classic on Friday. And then on Saturday, the elementary and junior high middle school, they had their first ever VEX IQ robotics tournament here at home during that Frozen Classic. So congratulations to the robotics team as they are getting ready. Now, they have a tournament, I believe now every weekend for about the next 2 or 3 weeks. They're going to be competing as getting ready for state, which will be coming up here in March. So that just gets you caught up on all that's going on for Highliner activities. Again, just go to our YouTube page. Just go to YouTube and search Valley City Highliner activities, and all our videos that we've had archived and a schedule of what's coming up with future games. You can check it out there and watch everything live or on demand. Just go to our YouTube page, and it's all free, and enjoy Highliner activities on the Highliner Activity Network. We're going to take a break. We'll be back again next week with more Coach's Corner. But again, girls basketball coming up tonight, 5:30 pre for the JV, and the varsity is at 7 o'clock. And my thanks to Coach Jim McDaniel joining us here this morning. Ray Nelson, our camera operator and technical director here this morning. And so we will see you at the Hack tonight as the Highlanders take on Fargo Oak Grove, 5:30 JV varsity at 7 o'clock. Then the boys this weekend will Killdeer and Beulah. That'll do it for this edition of Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network.